prioritization techniques though, but
Go ahead.
so in order of us checking what we need to do at the moment, so I think Moscow is okay for me for future
Why?
prioritization. Most importantly, because it gives me an edge for me to focus on our product backlog and know what exactly we should go in first. Though we're trying to make a comparison, that was last week. That's okay. When should we be able to use rice or Moscow techniques? So I think for now, it all depends on the situations at hand, and then being able to apply it in different. I think you were talking about last week that when it comes to emotional and feelings, at times we can always rely on rice scoring
Yeah.
prioritization techniques. Though.
On Kino, actually, Kino is the one that is more in tune with your emotions. All right.
Okay, okay, sir.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody wants to add? Anybody wants to tell us about their best framework? Yeah, one more person. That we use that to wait for other people that we don't have much to cover today, so I'm guessing in an hour we should be done. Any other person, everybody should talk now. It's only Samson and Toby and Chine here. And okay. Joyce spoke last week. Samson and Samuel, they're always talking. Onyekon, Chine here. I know them, then Toby. Toby is our regular customer. She's the one that's always bailing us out. Nobody else says anything. I want to hear something from somebody that's not spoken before. Sharon, Vicky, Melda, Mary Akonho, okay, Juliana has spoken once. Iniolu Olatunji, Fatima, Kezebe, apart from Kezebe to Adedotun Lydia. How are you guys now? We're waiting for you guys. One of you should bail us out.
Yeah. Well, personally, I like Moscow
Thank you.
because yeah, it just kind of um helps you to just focus like what must have, should have, won't have. I think I personally I just like Moscow. If I'm working on a product, I really love to use Moscow because
Also,
it's kind of give me this focus. Like the app will not have this. Okay, it could have this, but that must have. It's just that's a when you hear must have, you know, this is what we should be working on. This is what is important. This is our um this is what our KPI depends on. So personally, I like Moscow.
all
So
right.
I don't have a handle. Like probably today I might change, but for now I like Moscow.
It's okay. It's all right. All right. Thank you very much, Mary. Thank you very much. All right. So let's start. Let's start today's class. Let me know when you guys can see my screen. Okay. Thank you. Can anybody see my screen now? We good? All right. So last week we stopped at the rice scoring, and we're supposed to start with Kano model today. So we said we were going to be discussing four prioritization frameworks. There are many other ones, and like you must have guessed now that there are plenty. We've discussed the Moscow model method. We've discussed the rice scoring method. Today we'll start with the Kano model. And what is the Kano model? Can anybody hear me clearly? I think I'm sounding very far. Sorry, I'm a bit because I've carried on my energy today. But it's okay. All right. So what is Kano model? Basically, is a prioritization framework that helps teams understand how different features impact customer satisfaction. So Samuel, you understand why I said that the Kano is more sentimentally inclined now, because Kano actually focuses majorly on customer satisfaction, what the customer wants, what is value for customers, what is what is meeting a direct pain point of a customer. It classifies products, into 5 categories based on how customers perceive their value, enabling products to make better decisions in features development, enabling products to make better decisions in your product backlog and in your backlog planning, your road mapping and things like that. And how does it work? It was developed by Professor Noriaki Kano, and that's why it has a name Kano in the 1860s. Just like I said, it helps product managers categorize features based on customer expectations. It focuses on the emotional impact of features rather than just functionalities. It basically uses a 2-dimensional approach, just like you can see. On the y-axis, you have how user feels with a feature. On the x-axis, you have the extent to which the feature is present. That is, has it been developed? Is it in development? Has it not been developed at all? That's what you will have on the x-axis. And why do we use the Kano model? We believe that, one, it aligns with customer needs. It prioritizes what truly drives satisfaction for customers. That is, it truly elicits for us as PMs what is important to the customers. It helps us also to avoid feature bloats. It helps us filter out, unnecessary or very low impact features. It helps us maximize return on investment. It helps the teams focus on features with the highest impact, thereby driving, ROI for the business as a whole. And lastly, it helps improve decision making because it offers a very clear framework for prioritization. So those of you that are thinking Moscow is your best, rice is your best, beans is sweeter than rice is sweeter than yam, I'm sure you now start having a rethink that, okay, maybe yes, maybe not, So let's go on. So what are the 5 categories of the Kano model? In introduction, remember I explained to you that it has 5 categories. It's divided into 5 major categories, They are the must-have features. That's the basis. That's the basic of the Kano model. These are essential features customers expect at the basis, at this, what's the English now? At the most minimal introductory level of that product. I don't want to use MVP for specific reasons, but the most minimal introductory level of a product, this product is entering this market, what will it be known for? Is one of the basic features, e.g., a messaging app. So imagine them launching a WhatsApp and you can't chat. That means it's something else, it's not WhatsApp. So a very clear example is a messaging app must allow users to send messages. If you are building a messaging app, that's the most basic feature. If it is missing, customers are dissatisfied, they are not happy. The next category to that is the performance feature. The more you improve them, it's a linear feature. The more you improve them, the happier customers are directly tied to satisfaction. So more is better. So for instance, now, faster internet speed or longer battery life. At first, maybe you release a physical product, let's say a network bonding product, but for some reason, the battery always goes off fast. But now you're releasing a feature, a performance feature, that it helps to preserve battery life. That's a performance feature. You are improving a feature that has been important for a client, but this will make them more happy because the feature you are releasing is increasing their satisfaction on the product they are using. So that feature has been in existence, like we said, but now you are making it more better. Delighters. These are unexpected features that create delight and excitement. Their absence don't cause dissatisfaction, but their presence boosts happiness. In fact, a lot of times, these features, clients don't know it can be done, or they don't even have the slightest idea about it until you release it. That's when it now wows them like, wow, So an example is a free same-day delivery or a surprise gift in a subscription box. Who is thinking of what I'm thinking here? This surprise gift in a subscription box. Who knows what I'm talking about? You people don't use a lot of products, so you don't do tear down. If you see my phone, there are tons of apps that I may not open more than 1 or 2 times. But God bless you, Joy. Thank you very much. Stay moon. You're in the spirit. That's basically Temu for you. And if you know the number of users Temu have used that thing to gather, my wife shopped from them recently. Me, I don't have that patience of 1 month. And it was always prayer every morning that well, please don't let me buy something that is wrong. When he eventually came, well, I was wowed, truly. So me too, I now went back and I started seeing. But the Lagos boy in me is still thinking, Chinko cannot strike me. All this thing I'm saying is too good to be true. let them strike me on the street, or no, Chinko will not strike me. What I'm bringing out of this is that particular feature model or that particular style, that particular method, is a prioritization method. We really don't feel it. We don't know it because we've not really experienced it with other platforms we have used. But when Temu came and started doing it, and everybody was like, wow. If I say how many people have shopped because of that thing now, because of that gift, how many people you have shopped on Temu? Nobody. We have trust issues in this group. We have plenty. Toby Lama, okay. Toby, so did you shop because of the gifts?
No, sir, it wasn't because of the gift. I didn't do the free gift thing. I shopped directly just to see how the platform is. And also, I heard that their stuff are very cheap. So that was why I shopped from them.
Okay, so you don't have trust issues like us. I have trust issues. I don't know why I still just can't. Maybe because of the 1 month or 2 months. Maybe I'm that impatient. I don't know. I just don't trust them to put my money. Maybe if I see something that is interesting, then also I still have this, for lack of better words, this case system of, they sell nice things, very nice things. but anybody can buy it. God bless you, Joy. Exactly. I see every day I open, I'm always adding to carts. I am always adding to carts. My cart will be like 500 or 600K now. Especially when they tease me with all those their gifts. But when it's time to put card, maybe if they tell me that, payment on delivery, okay, when I see it, when they bring it and I open it and we see it pure, and they can pay. If you know pure, carry your thing, go back. Maybe I will consider buying, But the second thing for me is I think they have a lot of very nice things that are okay. So I'll tell you this story. So I was still in the university, and I think one of my very close friends then, our elder brother was getting married, and she did a shrebi for everybody, like our friends, And okay, I was in UNAP, so we all left UNAP, we entered the Badon, we got to gate. I think the wedding was somewhere around Old Ife Road. Excuse me. We got to gate. As I got down from gate like this, every 5 people I see, 2 must be wearing that same ashrebi. I was like, God. I was just shaking my head. How did I get myself into this? It was like the whole of Oyo State of Ibadan was going to that wedding that day. And it was those gate stouts. You said they were taunting us. So since then, anything has turned to like plenty people having it or using it, I'm always very, very withdrawn. So it's one of my major issues on Temu why I don't shop, because I feel that if I buy this, what's the guarantee that another 50 or 100 people don't have it? So how does that make me distinct and things like that? And maybe because most of the things that I like there are personal things. Most of my professional work or other tools are not something I'll pick on Temu. You get? So for me, that's another issue I want to do. So that delighter feature itself, it's a 1 minute, please. All right. Sorry, I'm back. So that delighter feature is it's a feature that, people will not know that, they need it, or they will not know that they like it until when it is released and they will not be like, oh, wow, nice idea. We do that. Okay. They have brain, things like that, Then they have the indifferent features. These are features that, it doesn't matter to the customer. It did there, they there. Okay. It's just there, An example is putting a setting in an app that people rarely use. Then lastly, the 5th category in the Kano model is the reverse feature. Some users dislike them while others may love them. Removing them might improve satisfaction for certain customers, and some other customers, it doesn't make sense to them. Auto-playing videos in an app. Some users like them, others find them annoying. Let's do a survey. How many people auto-play videos here? Nobody auto-plays videos here when you're watching videos online. Thank you. Yetunde says it's annoying. You see what I'm saying? But Yetunde, let me ask you again. Do you auto-play audios, music, maybe your Spotify or music? Chineke to hate it. Chineke, which one do you hate? The music or the video?
Music, it depends. I'd rather have my own playlist and move with my own playlist than autoplay anything. It's annoying.
But you autoplay your playlist, Chan.
Because I created it myself.
Okay, all right, that's good. See what I'm saying now? Joy says if it is a video series, autoplay makes sense. Good. So who autoplays music? Nobody autoplays music here. Thank you. You autoplay music, but you don't autoplay video. Come on, thank you. Good. That's exactly where I'm going. So you don't have to play me. So same for me. I autoplay music, but I will never autoplay video. So that kind of prioritization model or categorization under the Kano method, these are features that you have to be very careful. Some users might like them, so users might dislike them. So that's not depending on you, your God, and your target audience. Don't mind me, but really, it's just one of those things on the project and on the work, So basically, those are the 5 categorizations of that Kano model. So how do we use the Kano model? One, you collect customer feedback. How? You conduct surveys, interviews, or you speak to focus groups using the Kano model questionnaires. So those are the functional and dysfunctional questions. So example, imagine we are working on a dark mode feature. The functional question will be, how do you feel if the app has a dark mode? A dysfunctional question will be, how do you feel if the app does not have a dark mode? Then customers will respond. You give them options. I like it. I expect it. I'm neutral. I can tolerate it. I dislike it. Then you now categorize those features based on their responses into those Kano categories that we mentioned earlier: the must-have, the performance, the delighters, the indifferent, or the reverse. Then you now prioritize your feature based on the impact of the customer or based on their choices. You know that the must-haves are your first priority. The performance features, they improve continuously. So those are features that you have to be releasing them in bits. You have to be building them up in bits. Version 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. The delighters, like I said, they make people happy, but they don't even know they have it. So you have to add it for people to stand out. That's the next step on your priority list. The indifferent, you ignore or you remove based on your target audience. Then the reverse also, you consider removal based on your audience. So your target audience out of your focus group, your service interviews, are they in tune to liking it? Are they in tune to not like it? Their feedback will determine what you will do there. Do you guys get it? Is it clear? Thank you, guys. Okay, Ore said it's not clear. Ore, what is not clear there?
Yes, sir. What's not clear to me is how do you? I think I was lost where you were trying to say that the answers of the people you interview, how do you categorize them into the steps, the priority steps, the must-have, performance features, and all of that?
So these are you categorize them. They are essential features customers expect. If missing, customers are satisfied. Those are your must-have features. So based on the questionnaire, based on your questionnaire, 1 minute, please. What are the sections? So I expect it. Do you understand, Aure? Hello, can you hear me? SJ.
Yes, I can hear you, sir. I still don't understand, sir.
All right. So these are your Kano categorization. You have the must-haves features, you have the performance features, you have the delighter features, you have the indifferent features, you have the reverse features. So in your logs, you have your product backlog. Then let's say you have a table. Forget this quadrant you're looking at. It might confuse you a bit. Forget about it. So imagine you have a table for must-have, you have a table for performance, you have a table for delighters in that same order, right? Now, how do you categorize those features? You create questionnaires. When you create questionnaires or surveys or you have interviews, with focus groups. You send them questions using, the functional, dysfunctional question model. And I just gave you an example now. How do I feel if this dark? So imagine we are creating a dark mode feature. How do you feel if the app has a dark mode? How do you feel if the app does not have a dark mode? You get them to respond in this order. I like it. I expect it. I am neutral. I can tolerate it. I dislike it. Now, don't forget that you're sending your questionnaires to focus groups or to target audience. If the question you are asking, you find out that the larger percentage of them are saying that they expect it or they like it, that is a must-have. If they are neutral, that is something that they are most likely maybe indifferent about. If they can tolerate it, yeah, they don't know if they like it, they don't know if it's bad. Only if you can wow them. I dislike it, it is something that you are indifferent, you put it under the indifferent category or the reverse category. I like it, knows that it's something that delights them. Then there are features that, they are performance features. Under the I like it and I expect it, there are features that, you can't wow them once. You'll be wowing them small, while you're increasing it. That's when I gave you the example of, you have a bonding device. It's working fine, but it has bad battery, or it doesn't work more than 1 hour on battery. You release an update that shoots the battery life to 2 hours. That's a delighter. All right, you getting it now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So you're welcome. So it's real you knowing how to frame your questions, then knowing how to categorize the answers of the questions. Then once you have done that one, your focus is this. You work on your must-have features first. Those are the first priority for you to work on, followed by your performance features, then your delighters, then your indifferent, and your reverse features in that particular order. So you know that your must-haves are the first priority for you to face. Your performance features, those are features that you know that, okay, this is a performance feature. It's not a one-time thing. I can't do it once. I'll be releasing it bit by bit. So maybe I'm going to, how do I explain it? We are going to Lagos Ibadan. First gets to beggar first. Release that beggar model or release the beggar version. That's a performance feature. The lighters, things that wow them. They don't even know they have it, but wow them. Then the indifference and reverse, based on the target audience and what your questionnaire is, you decide whether you want to move on with them or you want to remove them. That is how the Kano model works, basically. So it is really about customer satisfaction. What does your user want? Okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Please, sir, what is functional question and dysfunctional question?
So when you're doing user surveys, it's a form of asking questions, it's a form of interviewing users. Did you talk about that?
No, sir.
Oh, that's powerful. Okay, this is what I will do. Dami, please remind me. I will share a case study on how to work product surveys and user interviewing in product management. Thank you, Dami. All right. So we looked at the real world. I said, let's look at a real world example here, applying the Kano model. And I said the case study is Spotify. What are the must-have features for it? You must be able to play and pause. Because if you can't play and pause, what's the point of having a music server? You must be able to search for songs and you must be able to stream songs. Those are basics. They are must-have features. Performance features are what? They are things that you do over time. Is what? High quality audio, offline downloads, playlist sharing. Delighters. We remember this delight. If you remember very well, this is wrapped yearly review. You guys remember it was Spotify that started it?
Yes, sir.
Before they started it, who used to do it? Nobody. So nobody knew they were missing it until when Spotify now did it, everybody now started doing it. So it was a delight. It was wow. Like, nice one. You know, everybody's posting it. I think last year was even funny. Everybody does it in December. I think Spotify started doing this last week in November last year. You know, and everybody was like, wow, you know, next one. Nice one. Everybody's looking at the next thing. So, you know, those are examples of delighter features. And you know that they will have timed it very well that this feature will use it in December. User satisfaction. I am telling you that some people, because of Wrapped, they join Spotify. That next year, I must share Wrapped. I'm telling you. That's when you started seeing people, you know, Lucy on your call and Snoop Doggy Dogg and be looking like, what's the correlation? How? You know, but it's okay, Sha. You know, but it's okay. You know, that's part of the essence of it. It was a delight that was supposed to wow them. Indifferent features, built-in podcasts. Some users want to record podcasts. Some people don't care. They just want to listen. So for some people, it makes sense. Some people, it doesn't make sense. Depending on the focus of your users or your audience, you decide which one you want to focus on. Reverse features, auto plays next song. Again, some love it, some hate it. Like we have found out now. So this is a simple example of, you know, of applying a Kano model in prioritization, in prioritizing which feature to work on, which feature to release, you know, or which feature to develop as a team, excuse me, in an organization or when you're working as a PM. I hope this brings some more clarity to it for us. All right, thank you guys. So what are some of the best practices for using the Kano model? It's important you combine your prioritization logic with data-driven insights. Don't rely solely on qualitative feedback. That is, learn to gather both qualitative and quantitative feedback. It's very important. Also, reassess periodically. You know why? Because delighters can turn to must-have. And I'll give you a very good example. We'll go back to Spotify's Wrapped. It was a delighter because Spotify released it. And then automatically, a PM in iTunes or other audio streaming platform, it's automatically become a must-have for them if they don't want to lose users. So if as a PM, I'm a PM in iTunes, you know, and I'm looking at that trend, it is, for lack of better English, it's wisdom for me to know that if I've had that one in my own plan as a delighter, I automatically need to move it to must-have ASAP. Or else I will lose users based on market trends. So it is also important you must be able to balance a lot of your must-haves and delighters because a great product needs both. There are key functional things you must have, and there are things that must be able to wow audience that. And I always put it this way. Some people say, what's your wow factor? What sets you apart from the others? What makes your product different? What can your product do that others can't do? These are ways to look at your delighters. Also, you need to prioritize based on your specific markets. Different audiences have different expectations. Focus on your focus. You cannot create a product for everybody. Remember what we said? There's no general audience or general public. Also, don't make a mistake that you want to wow users too soon. Ensure that you have must-haves and performance features as solid first. You know what? That is, have your core features, the core essence of your product first, before creating a WAP. Now, again, imagine Spotify that you cannot play music. There are no average users. Thank you very much, Ezebe. You remember very well. God bless you. Imagine Spotify cannot play music, or you can't search for a song and they're releasing WAP. Will it make sense? Users will not even be on it. Exactly. Also, what are the common mistakes to avoid? Yes, please go ahead. Somebody want to say something? Okay. So what are some of the common mistakes to avoid? You cannot ignore your must-haves. It's important you must have must-haves. Don't jump on the lighter. Don't try to wow too much. Before you wow, have a foundation. That's what I always say. Don't overload with delighters. Don't try and put in too many delighters. It will be costly and it will be ineffective. Also, don't turn all your features to performance features. For every spacing time, you must be able to systematically align your features into what are cores, what are wows, and what are performance features that you keep upgrading to make the experience better. And lastly, don't ever fail to reevaluate, because don't forget, Kano is about customer satisfaction, and customer expectations will keep changing regularly, day in, day out. So you as a PM, you cannot just sit down, put down your hands. You must be ready to always keep evaluating, and evaluating as a PM. Are we good? Are we okay? Thank you, guys. Can we go ahead? No questions? All right. So that brings us to the, yes, please, Joy, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. You just said that we need to keep evaluating. So my question is, how often do you need to do user research? Because you said customers' needs are changing, dynamic, and all of that stuff. So how often will a product manager go for research or do research?
Right. Very good question. Thank you very much for that question. So I won't say how often. I will say how in tune are you into the market. Firstly, there are questions to ask yourself. What is the market saying? Are there new entries? Are there new features? Based on your own roadmap also, what is your focus for this quarter? What are you trying to achieve? So those are the things that guide you. You also don't want to be too much in the face of your users, so that you don't be like you're a pest to them. So you also have to be very strategic about it. You're looking at, okay, what is our focus for this quarter? Even though you are very, very flexible about it, because if there are newer trends, you're looking at, okay, do we incorporate this now? Do we incorporate this later? So basically, the frequency is really determined by your strategy and your goals. So if your strategy and your goal requires you to engage them more, yes, do. If your strategy and your goals requires you to grow them first, then you know that you set them in, and then you take them through phases using different kind of models. Then maybe at every phase, you are checking on them for feedback. So it's really determined really by your strategy and your and your business goals you want to achieve. So there is no too much or two less? I hope you got that right. Joy has left. All right. Okay, so we'll move to our last prioritization framework for this class. All right. Joyce, did you get what I said? I think she's back now.
Yes, I did. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. All right. So we'll move to the last prioritization framework, which is the value versus effort model. So what is the value versus effort model? It's a simple framework, but it's very effective method for ranking product features, for ranking tasks or initiatives based on their potential impact, in brackets, their value, and the effort required to implement them, in brackets, the amount of work that is needed for us to do to give this user the value. You know, it helps product managers, agile teams, and businesses focus on high impact work while optimizing resources easily. Okay. So this framework helps teams decide what to work on first by comparing the value a task brings versus the efforts required to implement it. The goal always is to maximize impact while minimizing workload by focusing on high value, low effort tasks first. A lot of times is always visualized using a 2x2 matrix. So this 2x2 matrix, some people call it I think they call it the Eisenhower, my teeth not removable. Eisenhower model. How many of you have heard about that model before? That matrix model. Hey, God bless you. Eisenhower matrix. Thank you, my sister. God bless you. Good. All right. You know, even though a lot of people have interpreted that matrix in different ways and models, you know. So basically it's saying that the 2x2 matrix, where you have your low effort, high value, which you call your quick wins, they're your top priorities. You have your low effort, low value, call them fillers, you know, they are lower priority. You have high effort, high value. These are strategic investments. And you have things you call time wasters, you must avoid. They are high efforts, but very low value. You know, you do a lot of work to get something very little value out of it. That's basically the summary of your value and effort model. This framework basically helps them decide to, you know, okay, I think we've taken this, you know. So why do we use the value and effort matrix? One, simplicity. Is easy to understand and implement. Is a data-driven prioritization method. Helps teams focus on work with maximum return on investment. It also helps resource optimization. It ensures efficient allocation of time and development efforts. You know, so it ensures that, you know, if it's only one developer, you have 2 developers and 3 developers. You're not giving them the work of 10 developers in that kind of model. Also, it creates stakeholder alignment. It helps communicate why some tasks are more important, are more valuable than the others. So everybody is in line that this is why we are pursuing this now. Because we know that we only have 2 developers and they're going to get this done for us. And this is the focus for now because this is the value we get from this particular feature. It's straight up for them. Everybody is aligned. So how do you implement the value versus effort model? One, you have to define value metrics. So value can be vague and value can different from organization to organization, from PM to PM. So the first thing is to first define what is value for us, and it can be measured in several ways depending on business goals. Some common value factors, some can be customer impact, some can be revenue potential, some can be competitive advantage, some can be user experience. Are we improving retention or improving engagement? These are some types of value. So as an organization or as a team, you define what is value for you. Then you assign a score of 1 to 10 for value based. Somebody raise up their hand. Okay. Secondly, then you now define efforts. Effort measures the complexity and resources required for implementation. Common effort factors include how many engineering work is required, how long is this going to take for us, can this be done in days, weeks, or months? Dependencies, does it require changes in multiple teams or systems? How many teams can deliver this? How many systems we need to integrate, add together, remove, join? Then also, are there technical or business risks to this? Are there licenses? If you do it this way, hope it won't backfire. If you do it this way, can we be hacked? You have to look at all that risk level. Also, you will assign an effort score 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. Then you now plot those values in the 4 quadrants. Quick wins, high value, low effort. So these are tasks with high impact but minimal effort. Examples: UI UX tricks that improve conversion rates. High impact because it increases conversion rates. So if conversion is in value for the organization, a user experience tweak, very minimal effort. Fixing a common customer pain point. Small automation tasks that reduce manual work. Those are small things, but increases the value of your product to your user. The second quadrant, strategic investments, some people call it big projects. It is high value, high efforts. They are important, but require planning. I saw a post today. How many people like football here? Nobody likes football here. Okay, all right, good. So I saw a post today that Arsenal wants to increase the size of their stadium. I think maybe because of 2028 World Cup or something like that, blah, 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 blah. But they have started planning since 2025. They are planning that it should be done by 2029 or 2030. It is important, but it requires planning. It is worth doing, but it needs time and it needs resources. Those are high value, high efforts. Example is a new product features that expand market reach, major architecture improvement. I just use that as an. Or you want to expand into new regions. Your product has only been in Lagos or in the Southwest. You're looking to enter into the North. It gives you very good value, but it also requires a lot of effort from you. The third quadrant, we call them the low value, low effort. These are features that you can consider them if there is extra capacity, if time day. They're basically minor UI changes with little impact. So you're adding extra settings or options few users request. A lot of people are not requesting them, but just feel okay. You know, get work do. Just add this one to it. It's a low value, low effort. It's there. Then there are things last is what you call the time wasters. They are low value, high efforts. You know, they consume significant resource but offer little value. An example is you are over engineering non-critical features. So imagine a team spending months on a feature that is not critical, or a feature that users have said they are not even interested or they don't want. Or you are implementing custom solutions when off-the-shelf tools exist. So imagine trying to build your own banking architecture for payment gateway, whereas you already have a lot of third-party payment gateways available in the market that you can just, and shake their APIs with. But you, because you want to show that, we are badass engineers, you decide that you want to write your own framework or your own transaction engine from scratch. As nice as that is, it is a lot of effort, but it is low impact because the users don't know the difference, whether they are using you or they are using the third-party gateway. Are we clear? All right. Thank you, guys. All right, so let's pick a case study also. Let's prioritize features for a mobile app. So we are imagining a fitness app that wants to improve engagement and revenue. So their value is what? Engagement and revenue. That is what is value for them. So if you add push notifications and workout reminders, does it improve engagement? Yes. And we're seeing that the effort score is very low. It requires very low effort. So it's a quick win. You can quickly do it, sharp. We want to introduce AI-driven personalized fitness plan. The value is high, but also the effort is a lot because it will require, AI engines, AI programming, AI doctoring, and all the AI. It's a lot of effort that I've not even started, but let's plan it. That's a strategic investment. So it goes into the big project quadrants. We want to change the app theme color options. It really doesn't matter because the value is not that high. It doesn't really change anything for users. Yes, the effort is also very low. So we put it as part of our fillers. But we want to develop a new custom built social community feature. Are people really asking for it? Not really. But it's going to take a lot of time for us to do it. That's a time waster. So basically, the team will prioritize push notifications first, work on AI-driven fitness plans as a strategic goal plan, and ignore the social community feature for now. Or if they find a third-party app that can handle it for them. And basically, that's how value versus effort works. Does this put it in perspective for you guys? Does it make it clearer? All right, good. Thank you very much. So what are some of the best? Yes, Joy, please go ahead. Joy, talk, or was it a mistake?
So sorry, I was speaking. I said I want to know how we can estimate the value score and the effort score.
So basically, so 1 minute, please. Okay. So value score is really depending on what your values are as an organization, or what the values you are choosing as an organization, what is important as an organization. So I give an example. These are common values: customer impact, revenue potential, competitive advantage, user experience. So for customer impact, you can see that anything that improves customer impact on a scale of 1 to 10 is 6 for us. Anything that increases revenue potential is a 9 or 10 on our value score. Anything that increases competitive advantage not really our focus for now. We'll just give it a 6. User experience is nice, so it increases everything. So maybe we'll give it a 7 or a 4. You understand what I'm saying, Joy?
Yes, I do.
All right. Then you come to your efforts. You pick things that are common factors that affect efforts. What's your development team like? What is their strengths? How long does it take them to deliver? What are the other things that we will need? What are how risky is this? For instance, you can release some features that opens you up more to more people, like more hacking and things like that. So it opens us to risk. Do we have a strong cybersecurity team that can protect us and things like that? So those are the things. Those are the ways you mitigate your effort. Then also you now assign a score to those on a scale of 1 to 10. So something that the risk level is that it opens you up, it means that the effort increases because there are more people. The time to deliver is a lot. It increases your effort. The development complexity is strong. It increases a high effort number. Dependency is not that much. You don't even need dependency at all. It's a low effort number. You do a median of that, and that gives you a score you can use. Are we clear, Joy?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Something, yes, please go ahead.
Okay, sir. I'm just looking at the metrics, both the value and the efforts. Is it possible for a product manager to be biased in making a decision about the score? Just a quick example, like, okay, for example, there is a features that, okay, if we do it, it's going to take a lot of times, but depending on, though it has a value, but you're just looking at, okay, you've been long on this project for a while, and then they keep adding features upon features. So you're trying to just sideline that particular features. Is it possible for you? I'm just creating a scenario on my own now.
Yes, that's very possible. I mean, we are humans, but more than being humans, it's also us being very professional, and that's why you're a product manager. So you must be able to also check yourself to know that and I've always said something. What's your prioritization logic? Why are you doing this? So if you want to push this to the front of the burner, you must be able to give us not an emotional response, but a professional logic to make everybody, especially your stakeholders, understand why this is going out. And as a PM, if it goes out and it improves value for your organization, they will praise you. And if it doesn't, you're the one online. But that's why I said it's important for you as a PM to be very professional. Even though we are humans, we can't be. You have to avoid trying to be emotional about it. Yes, Daniela, please go ahead.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So my question is, can we calculate the stories point the same way we calculate value and effort?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
So
I think so.
how do we go about it?
So how do you calculate your story points?
Yes, sir.
I'm asking you how.
Is it the same way you told us here to calculate our efforts? Maybe you can just fix a score. Okay, for example, the complexity, we can just give it a score. Is it also the same way we calculate the stories point? I don't understand.
So that's why I'm saying that, So you are calculating stories points basically based off a larger scale, which are your roadmaps and things like that. You're calculating your value and effort based off your product backlog. Even though you are using almost the same method of, what's the English now? how long is this going to take, the number of developers it will take, the number of efforts it will take, number of dependencies it will take, and things like that. That's why I said yes. You know, you can look at it that way, that yes, you can use that same what's the English formula or method to calculate story points and to also look at your efforts or things like that. Does that answer your question, Damila?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. So what are some of the best practices for using the framework? Again, and this comes back to you, Samson, use data, not assumption. So no matter how you feel, no matter what you think should be front burner, should be working, should not be working now, use data, not assumptions. Also, reassess regularly. Priorities change. So review the metrics frequently. Involve stakeholders. Always get input from marketing, engineering, and customer success teams. Also, this also helps you to really calculate and decide what the efforts is really like, because as PMs, we can just be in our own cocoon and just focus on one side and not looking at others. Then when you push, you now start seeing that the other efforts involved in this thing, and you now start wondering that I didn't calculate this one. Also, keep a balanced approach. You must be able to mix quick wins with long-term investments. So you must be able to quick wins with big projects. So as you are planning for the future, be doing things that are improving you guys, that are improving your success presently at the moment. Limitations and when not to use it. It does not account for urgencies. So a low-value task may still be critical, e.g., bug fixes. Also, it tends to oversimplify prioritization. It is deeper than, at times, prioritization can be deeper than this. Okay, someone says you can't see my screen anymore. Can anybody still see my screen? All right, Samuel.
You can see your screen.
All right, thank you. Samuel, so you have to maybe log out and log back in. Most likely your network. All right. Also, the value versus effort model at times does not consider dependencies. A high value, low effort task might still depend on the high effort initiative, just like I experienced, like we said now, you might not have considered other dependencies, maybe marketing, maybe sales, to help you push that feature. But it also requires an high effort initiative. So on the long run, it now becomes a high value, high effort when you were thinking it was a low effort. So that is why it's important. You must always reassess regularly. So ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the class of value versus efforts. I'm thinking this is my last class with you guys. I'm not sure. That means I think either this is my last class or I still have one more class. So I think our next meeting will be in your what do you call it? Your project period.
Yes,
So
sir.
I think it's been what's our time, and I trust that I've been able to impact every one of you. And Dami, thank you very much for the LinkedIn. That was very insightful. All right.
Oh, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So before we go, there's also something we need to touch that I know all of you have been asking, and I purposely put it at the end of the class. So, and I said, okay, I was going to speak about this. There's so much of these models, techniques, theory, and everything. How do I know which one to use and when? Does anybody have that question? Or we don't need to touch it?
Please, we need it, sir.
It is necessary, sir.
All right. So I did a very simple comparison of prioritization framework and when to use what and the strengths and weaknesses and use cases. So focusing on the 4 we talked about. So when do you use the MOSCO? You use it when you need clear-cut prioritization based on business critical versus optional features. So what are core features versus features that can wait? The strength is simple and it aligns teams quickly. Weakness, it can be very subjective and it lacks numerical score because it's really based on what you believe is this critical and what you believe is optional. An example use case of it, like I said, so when you want to develop an MVP for a product launch, the most advised prioritization framework or technique to use then is MOSCO. When you need a data-driven approach to rank features based on impact and feasibility research, data-driven, quantity, it quantifies priority and reduces bias, no sentiment. It requires good estimation of impact and efforts, especially in an agile system. You use the right scoring method. When you want to prioritize based on customer delight, you want to make your customer happy and user expectations, you use Kano. It has the strength of helping to balance must-haves versus your wow factor. What can you wow them? It requires user research also, which is one of these weaknesses, and it doesn't really consider efforts. So it just talks about wow and must-haves, but it doesn't really talk about what is going to, how are you going to make it happen? Do you have the resources to make it happen? It's only just about getting it done. An example use case is, you want to add gamification into a mobile app. It's nice. It's a wow. It's good. Is it a must-have? Well, it might be a must-have, depending on your users. So when you're about customer satisfaction and delighting, you pick the Kano model to prioritize features. When you need to make quick decision based on return on investments, quick one, chap, value versus effort is the model to look at. It's easy to visualize and it focuses on efficiency. Also, part of the weakness is that it is very oversimplified and it doesn't account for urgency. Example again is, you want to prioritize fixing a bug versus new features in an agile team. Which gives more value, which takes more effort. In that scenario, the value versus effort is the framework to go. In summary, so if you're looking at MVP development, you use MOSCO to define your must-have features. If you're in an agile teams and you're running sprints, RISE for objective and data-based decisions is the model to go for. If you're looking at customer-centric prioritization, you want to make your customers happy, the Kano model is to go. If you're a lean startup and you're looking at quick wins, let's enter markets, let's touch points, let's make impact sharp. The value versus effort is the model to go. So I hope this provides some level of clarity for us. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll meet in project room or class. I don't know. I'm not sure if I still have one more class, but if I do, fine. If I don't, meet during the project defense. All right. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank
Questions?
you very much.
You're welcome. Any questions, answers, subtraction, addition? She use up to 1 hour 30 minutes video. I thought we use more than 1 hour. Thank you, sir. So no questions, Abby. Can we call it a day?
Okay, before we call
I
it a
have a
day,
question.
All right, please.
So please, I wasn't around for the introduction to agile methodologies, so I really don't know if I'm taking the class back. But
the recording is on the
I,
YouTube channel, though.
yes, I watched it and I have a question.
Okay.
All right, please.
So
Yes, go ahead.
okay, so there's this third-party integration that we are currently working on at work, and we had our grooming session. Backend said he was going to take 2 weeks for his implementation, and then front end will pick up. And anyways, my question is that during sprint planning, you said sprint planning typically takes 2 to 4 weeks. If our sprint planning is like, let's say, or if our entire sprint cycle is 2 weeks, and backend himself is already saying his own implementation will be done in 2 weeks. When we are doing sprint retrospection, right? That's what it's called.
Yes.
Are we only going to be speaking just based off on what the backend has done? Because obviously it's not just going to be one sprint. It's going to, like, the implementation going to take several sprints. So is it that a sprint we don't have to have a finished product for a sprint to be completed? And when we are doing the sprint retrospective, it's just the backend part that we have.
Yeah, that's fine. So don't mix it up. So when we're saying sprints, you're picking. So if you have 100 features to work on a product, you're saying in this sprint we just want to work on four features. The most important thing is that you know that within that sprint period, you as much as possible complete those 4 features. So if it's only the backend you're working on that particular sprint, that's okay. So far it's completed. Do you get that, Jenny?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I think Chinaya asked a question. If she could
Okay,
unmute
Chinaya,
herself.
please go ahead.
Okay, I think
Okay,
she said, what if you are in
you are an
an
agile
agile
team
team
to plan a
to
sprint.
plan a
That's why you have
sprint for
yes.
9 people?
So that's why you have sprint planning. So in your sprint planning, you decide that for this, our focus or our goal is an MVP. So for this, you are working on using maybe the Moscow or other frameworks as opposed to use the right scoring. So it's okay if you align that with the team during your sprint planning before you start the sprint session. Is that clear? All right, thank you. Okay. Any more questions, guys?
Is there any more question, please? If you have any question, you can unmute yourself and speak.
Okay. So most
So
likely,
so do you
so
want to
that
say
means I think
anything?
yes, before we do a final, so maybe one of these days, yes, I will send the slides. Dami, please make sure I send the slides tonight, please.
Okay,
You
sir.
taught me very well. Don't worry, I'm going to study now, so I can send it. So I will speak with the organizers. Most likely, we should have the. So I expect that once we are done with all our assignments, I've gone through the videos and everything. I will say that maybe we have a day, maybe with me and everybody, will do a general review where it will just be question and answers based on everything we have learned. So, but that will be after all assignments have been submitted and everything. So we'll also incorporate that. So just for everybody to have a review and a recap. Thank you very much. I mean, a lot. Thank you, Chineye. God bless you. Thank you for the feedback. All right, guys. So we'll call it a day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sir Pelumi. So before we go, one of the hosts would like to address us concerning the project.
Okay.
Ishola, please, are you on the call already?
Yes, yes, ma'am, I am. Yes.
No. You can
Okay.
speak now.
Okay. I just need 5 minutes of your time. So thank you, Mr. Polumi, for wonderful class. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir.
This is with